Welcome back to another daily update here in the TandemCTelevision studios, and we've got 3 vehicles over in the new workshop that we need to get back to work on, and that's the TRXZ, the Ripsaw, and the Gremlin. So I thought we'd go over there, take a quick look at them. Don't go anywhere. It's been a while since we've worked on these 3 vehicles here on the channel, so what I thought we'd do is just do a quick review of all 3 of them as a refresher for those who have been here with the channel, or to introduce these vehicles to anybody that's new to the channel. And I thought we'd start with the TRXZ. So let me scoot over here, and you know what? Actually, let's take this full screen. The TRXZ is the main character, the main good guy character in the series coming up here on the channel, CCG 2084, and it's based off of a Traxxas TRX4. Now, we call it a TRXZ, the Z standing for zombie, because basically it's a zombie killer. It's a machine that the guys are going to take out into the city to scavenge parts, and they're probably going to have to kill a few zombies along the way if they want to make it back. And basically, some of the features, what I thought I'd do is just run through the features on these different vehicles. And with the TRXZ, basically, we've got 2 guns. We've got a gun inside, and we've got a set of missile launchers on the back. These are both mounted on servos and are going to be able to be controlled while it drives around. So while we do the run videos or while we're shooting these videos, we'll be able to control these 2 guns. They can pivot and move around. We've also got on front a big bumper right now, and basically this is like a plow bumper or a bumper for just knocking anything out of the way. So I'm assuming that as they go through the city streets in this apocalyptic world, there's gonna be a lot of junk in the way, so they need a big plow type bumper. Now, these bumpers are actually interchangeable. I plan on making multiple different bumpers that they can change out, maybe one with a winch, one maybe with a crane on it, some just changeable bumpers for the situation that they need. We've also got pop-up guns that are on the hood. So these are actually, they're gonna be missile launchers. These will be able to pop up, launch little missiles, and then we're gonna do the back windows also as pop outs, which will have machine guns, I think, or maybe missiles also. We haven't decided really yet. And then we had to build a custom cage in the back. This was the cage off of a Unimog, I believe, that I did a bunch of modifications to make fit on the back of our TRX4, which is now the TRXZ. And we needed it to hold the missile launcher in the back along with a spare tire and give us a little flatbed in the back where we can tie down items as they need them. So as they go out and pick up different items, they can tie them down on the flatbed back there. And then we also have a custom rear bumper that I made that is going to be getting a hitch because I'm going to have a trailer that they're also going to be able to pull. So I'll be building a trailer for this that they can pull out to pick up bigger items, like maybe a robotic arm, let's say. But yeah, there's going to be a trailer that's also going to hook up on to the bumper on the back end. And then when I take the body off, we can see kind of how the interior is coming together. So you can see how the driver and the gunner kind of sit on the interior. The driver's a little further forward. The gunner's backing up, and you can see how he's able to control the gun and shoot. Basically, he'll be able to shoot out the front side of the truck while the driver drives, or if somebody's out trying to loot a building or something, that they'll have the gunner there to take care of them. Also built a completely custom dash for it. Basically tried to make it look as scrapped as possible. So in other words, the dash was completely built out of scrap items that were found and salvaged and put together, along with a holographic phone, I guess you could say. That's what the green character on the dash is. I'll be able to add in some After Effects to make that look a little more holographic, but that's the placeholder for basically a communication device to call back to the shop while they're out in the city. But that's the TRXZ. Now, there's a lot more left we got to go on it. Yeah, we got to finish out the interior. We got to actually make the different guns pop up. So I've got the linear actuators we're going to use to do the pop-up guns and the pop-out guns. So that'll be coming up. So look forward to that. We got to build the trailer for it. The trailer to pull behind. I want to definitely do that and make it look like it was built out of scrapped items. Also, things found out in the world. And then we got to finish off the electronics. So basically, I got a 6-channel receiver that we'll be using for it. I've basically just got to get it all wired up and programmed and whatnot. And then the TRXZ will be done. We're going to have to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to take a look at the Ripsaw and the Gremlin. A lot of you have been asking about where we're at with the Gremlin. Well, we're going to take a little review on it, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be working on this week on the Gremlin. So don't go anywhere. Stick around till after the commercial break. We'll be right back. The next vehicle we're going to look at is the Ripsaw. So the TRXZ is the good guy of the series. The Ripsaw is basically the bad guy of the series, or maybe the anti-hero of the series, because I think a lot of people might find favor with the Ripsaw and the driver of the Ripsaw, along with the Outsiders, that he's the leader of. But the Ripsaw itself is meant to be the bad guy of the series, and it's based on a Kyosho chassis. I'm never sure how to say that. I think it's Kyosho chassis. And basically, the body has not been affixed yet, so that's something we're going to have to take care of. And one of the features, or one of the cool features it has, is some changeable hatches. So I built a closed hatch and an open hatch, which isn't, I have not moved over to the new workshop yet, but they, via magnets, just attached to the roof. And so whether the characters are outside of the car or inside of the car, you can have the hatch opened or closed. And then basically we just did a ton of really cool paint work on it. Really wanted to make it look hot rod looking and a bit Mad Max hot rod looking. And then just did a ton of weathering and a ton of grime and a ton of rust. And then we went through and just kind of armored it out. So all the windows have armor and mesh in them. Along with bolting the doors shut and basically just making it almost a bit like a tank, but in a hot rod body. And then, of course, we added the big saw blades and spikes to the roof, which, of course, is where it gets its name, Ripsaw. But just to give it, just really at the end of the day, I just wanted to give this, I guess you say, a lot of badassery. I just wanted it to be just really a mean-looking vehicle. And I think we're pretty close now. We still have a lot to do on the Ripsaw. Like I mentioned, we've got to fix the body yet, which I plan on doing an air ride suspension. So basically, can drive around up, and then when it stops, it's just going to slam to the ground just to make it look even meaner, or just have it even drive on the ground. Maybe we can, and I might even After Effects in some sparks as it's going down the street, that kind of thing, just making it look really mean and intimidating. We got to do that yet. I got to build out a little bit of an interior and do some interior lighting, because there is going to be a driver in this. And so I want to do a little bit of interior lighting. I think we had talked about doing it red and really making a red glow come out of there. I think it's what we had talked about. In fact, I'll go back and look through a lot of the comments you guys left, because you had some good ones about the lighting. I remember some good comments you guys left about doing the lighting for the Ripsaw, but we got to do that yet. But it's about done. It's about all that's left on the Ripsaw. Okay, now the Gremlin. So everybody's been asking about the Gremlin, and I can't blame you. I'm excited to get back to work on this one. So this is the vehicle that we're building for Lee over at Bulgar RC. This is actually his vehicle that we're building for him, and it's a toy grade body. It's a body off of a toy grade RC that we're mounting, or that we're marrying to an SCX-10-2 chassis. So it's a Gremlin body on a truck chassis, which is making for, I think, a really cool vehicle. Now, the first thing we did was 3D print up an engine and forward mount or front mount the engine under the hood. And then, so because of that front engine, we obviously had to cut open the hood and hinge it so that we'd have a hood that would open and close. Now, because of how that front engine mounted, it mounted kind of high, so we had to do a big cowl on the hood, which I think actually turned out looking pretty cool. And then we've gone ahead and put in a radiator support, which is where we've got some magnets which hold the hood closed, so we can open it and then close it, and it'll stay closed when it's going down the trails. Now, the biggest job we did on the Gremlin were the wheel wells. So instead of adjusting the SCX-10-2's wheelbase, I didn't want to change its wheelbase. I wanted to leave the geometry exactly like it is from the SCX-10-2, so I know it's going to perform well. So where we changed the wheelbase was actually the wheel well cutouts. We moved both the front and the back wheel well cutouts and just body worked them in to fit the chassis and its wheelbase. We also then cut out the door. So the next big project was cutting the door. And I've actually only cut the passenger side door so far. Completely cut it out and hinged it. So it'll also open and close. And then, of course, I built out a body for the door, gave it some structure, gave it a body to the door, which we'll be adding door cards to and doing all the details on. Yeah, and then we also built out the kick panel and the door seal and the back door seal. I don't know what you call that, but basically just built out all the way around the door cutout, and then again added magnets inside the door body and behind the rear seal, so it'll hold it closed. So now you can open the door and then close the door, and it'll stay closed again while going down the trails, and it won't come flopping open. Now, we've got a lot of work left to do on the Gremlin. The next project I will be doing is cutting the driver's side door and basically doing exactly what we did on the passenger side door to the driver's side door. I don't know if I'll do that on camera. Obviously, if you want to see that done, just go back and check out one of the previous daily updates. In fact, I take that back. I think it was in one of the last episodes of the RC shop, but you can find it on the channel. Just go back and you can see how we cut the door and built all that out. But I'll take care of that probably off camera. Then we also have to cut the rear hatch. So the third door in the back, I also want to be able to open. And then the next big project we're gonna have to do is probably, I think I'm gonna do it via vacuum forming windows for this. So we've got the original windows that we'll use, and I can use as the buck to vacuum form some clear windows. So the original windows, if you don't know, the original windows were black. They're completely blacked out. You can't see through them. Well, this is going to have a full custom interior, so I want to do them in clear. So that's the next big project we have. And then, of course, the next really big project is that exactly what I was just talking about, the custom interior, which I've already started. If you go back and look, we've already started working on the dash and some things like that. But that's going to be a big project that we'll be taking care of in these daily updates. But that's all to come. I hope you guys have enjoyed kind of taking a look, a refresher at the 3 vehicles that we're working on now. Now, we also have Zuber's taxi and scrapping vehicle that we're going to be doing. I still want to do a Winnebago for the arms dealer that's going to be out in the city. So we still got a bunch of vehicles left to do, and of course more vehicles after that coming up. Look for all that in the updates, and of course look for all of them, not the Gremlin, but all the others in CCG 2084. We've got some builds we'll be working on in that garage also, so look for those. But anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this kind of walk back through these vehicles. Thanks for joining me. Leave me the comments down below. What do you want to see moving forward with these vehicles? Leave me a comment down there. YouTube really likes those comments. It really helps in the algorithm. And a thumbs up. That'll really help out the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see all the work we're doing on these. We're back at it daily. So hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with it. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.